All right. Welcome, everybody, to our call. We are so privileged tonight to have Jennifer Thomas with us. She was in Grand Forks last week on Tuesday for our event, so some of you met her in person. And she is our field development coach, manager coach, and has a wealth of knowledge. And she's going to continue the training that didn't happen on Tuesday. We're doing it tonight. So we want to make it personable to you too. So if you have questions, put things in the chat and we'll keep it very intentional. So
Okay, I see some of you have notebooks and pens and pencils. That's awesome. If you don't have something like that, open up your notes because we're going to start this off with you answering some questions that I'm going to ask. And if you don't know the answer, write the question so you can come back and fill it in on your own time. Okay. And you might not have all the answers right now. So, number one, I want to know what is the ultimate vision for your business in 2025? And how does it align with the life you want to create? Meaning, how is Plexus going to help you live the life that you're trying to create? Or how is it going to help you create the life you want to live? What rank? What income do you want to have? What milestone do you want to achieve by the end of 2025? And why does this matter to you? Okay, just a couple more minutes, unless you think you need more than that before we move on. Can come back and answer that. Okay, 30 more seconds. All right. How many of you have done a visualization exercise before, or how many of you practice visualization exercises on the regular? Raise your hand if you've done them before. Drop a one in your hand if you do them regularly. Okay, so I need everybody here. Kelly, I see that you're super busy and it looks like you're cutting with a knife, so do not close your eyes. But the rest of you, close your eyes. And we're going to start by taking a couple of deep breaths where we're going to breathe in for 4 seconds. We're going to hold for 4 seconds. We're going to breathe out for 4 seconds. We're going to hold for 4 seconds. Okay, we're going to do that a couple of times before we get started. So, ready? We're going to breathe in. One, two, three, four. Hold your breath. One, two, three, four. Exhale. One, two, three, four. Hold your breath. One, two, three, four. Inhale. One, two, three, 4. Hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. With your eyes closed, I want you to imagine where you are at the end of the year. Where are you? What is the physical place that you are because you achieved the goal that you just wrote down on your paper? What condition is it? Is it in a building? Are you on a beach? Are you at somebody's home? Are you in your parents' home? Are you throwing a party at your house? Where are you and what is going on around you? I want you to imagine the people that are there with you. Who is there with you to celebrate? Who is there to join you on celebrating you stepping into your power, you having been able to help other women achieve their goals? Who's there? And what do you smell? What smells are around you? Are there flowers? Is there a breeze in the air? Is it winter time and we're smelling the dampness? Is it warm? Is it cold? What are you hearing? Are there birds chirping if you're on the beach? Is it raining? Is there thunder? Is the sun shining or is the sun setting? Or is it just simply nighttime and it's super dark? I want you to visualize and picture in your mind the sounds that you're hearing, the senses of what you are smelling. Who is there with you? And then, most importantly, how do you feel right now? What feelings are overcoming you in this very moment at the end of 2025? What feelings do you have? Do you have feelings of contentment, of excitement because you achieved this and it's just a stepping stone into the next area? Are you happy? Are you filled with more motivation than ever, knowing that you accomplished something big and it's just a small speck in the sand for what you're creating for your life? A small speck in the beach that you're helping other women create what it is that they want. How is that feeling? What are those feelings? And now I want you to open your eyes and I want you to write down really quickly those things. Where are you? Who's there? How do you feel? That's the most important part. Your feelings of this accomplishment. Who's there? Maybe the smells that you're having, the things that you're seeing. I want you to write all of that down. Okay, just about 30 seconds. And then we'll come back with some stuff at the very end that has to do with visualization. Okay. How do you feel after doing that? Does it bring excitement? Does it bring enthusiasm? Does it bring some motivation for you to get into action because you just visualized where you're going to be? The really cool and awesome thing about visualization, which I think is a missing key for most people who have goals and who have ideas and are running businesses, is the lack of visualization. There are so many studies that show the impact that visualization can have, almost as much of an impact as practice and repetition. So Marla can probably attest to this as an athlete, as a trainer. Before you go to perform something, if you can visualize yourself doing something, if you can think you're strong enough to lift this weight and you get yourself ready and you see yourself doing it, when you go to actually perform that, you perform better and lift heavier and are stronger than if you would have just shown up and said, I'm going to do this thing without thinking through how strong you are, without seeing yourself actually do the task at hand. Likewise, if you show up and you think you're really weak that day because you're really tired and you think, I'm so weak, I'm not sure I can lift this weight, you're not going to lift it. It's really crazy how strong our minds are and what they can do for us. And there's a lot of different studies that I can send to you guys if you're interested in really the psychology behind it and really kind of what happens. But a lot of it is that goal clarity. I feel like sometimes our goals, one, aren't large enough and we don't have a deadline. So they're just out there in space, and we have this idea and we want something, but we don't know by when. So, how do we know what to even do? And how do we know what to get there? So, to move this conversation along tonight, I wanted to talk about how are we approaching people for this business opportunity? Because I know all of you guys are here looking to increase your paychecks, and that happens when you can help others do the same thing, right? And so, I mentioned it a little bit when I was out there that you need to be more interested in someone than interesting, right? And so you've probably heard a lot about people talking about conversational selling versus transactional selling. And you're like, maybe you don't even really know what that is, right? Um, Effective conversations are a really an important part of selling because it's your ability to hold a quality conversation with somebody else that helps you understand them, that you can lead them to sharing their pain points, that you can get to know them so you can automatically be armed and ready for all their objections by pointing it right back at the conversation of things that they've shared with you and kind of leading them to the answer, right? So if you think of transactional selling, here's kind of what it looks like. You really have an introduction, you set the objective for what it is. Maybe it's like you need to earn icon, so you need to find new ambassadors or new VIPs, 10 of them, right? So you're creating some sort of interest. You talk to somebody, you recommend some products. Questions are focused a little bit on the value and building rapport, and then you close the sale and overcome objections. That's transaction or consultative sales. Okay. So the difference between that and conversational sales is conversational sales starts with building rapport, getting to know them by asking open-ended questions. What is it they're even looking to achieve in their life? And I always love to give a 6 month out there. Like, how do you want to feel by December? How do you want to look by December? How much money are you looking to earn by the end of the year? if it's 6 months out, right? And then as we get closer, and maybe we're in October, I switch that conversation is share with me how you want to be by spring. Share with me what do you want to look like? How do you want to feel? How much money do you want to have by spring, right? So that you are forecasting from the get-go that we are going to take several months to get there, and we're going to have this goal, and we're going to reverse engineer how to get there and give daily actionable steps to meet our weekly, monthly goals, whether that's with weight loss, wellness, or income, right? So getting to know them so that you are armed and ready to know what solutions you can even answer. As you get to know them, you can offer relatability to their story by sharing bits and pieces of your own story. Remember, you're interested in them, so you don't want to take too much time, but you want to see them. They need to be felt, they need to be seen and validated, and you can relate on some sort, right? Maybe you don't have an exact situation, but you can relate to kind of being where somebody is who's tried everything to solve a problem and nothing has worked, right? And then as you're having those conversations, you want to be able to show them that we have some solutions that could possibly work for them and recommend in a way where you're helping them self-discover. Where maybe it's like, hey, I have tried everything to lose weight. I go all in, I lose the weight, and I gain it back. And you might say, man, I've been there. I totally get that. It's so frustrating, right? What have you done before that's worked? What did you like about losing the weight and what made you gain it back? What didn't work? Do you know? Do you know what that is? Maybe they know, and then you can help them self-discover. So it sounds like you really have this ability to go all in and take things out and white knuckle it for a while, but it's not really sustainable. Is it? Maybe it's because we didn't take baby steps where we habit stacked, where we got really good at one thing before we introduced the second thing, and we got really good at that. So it's sustainable and their long-term effects. What and how would your life change if I was able to help you figure out to start slowly and then be able to have massive results in the last 3 months of the year in this 5 or 6 month window that we're talking about, where we're preparing yourself, we're getting you into good habits, it's doable, it's sustainable. Share with me how your life would be impacted if you were able to do this and earn this much money, if you were able to do this and lose the weight. And then hear what they have to say. We want to connect their pain points, be able to lead them to a solution, but most importantly, how is it going to change their life if they even achieve it? What does it even mean for them? Right? For income, if they really want to earn a certain amount of income, okay, what do you need this money for? Well, my husband's been working, an extra shift every single week, so he's gone 6 out of 7 days, or maybe he's gone 7 out of 7. If because we have all these extra bills, if I was able to pay the electric bill and the phone bill, that would just be phenomenal. I would ask one more step. Share with me, what does that mean for your family if you're able to pay that? Well, it means my husband can be home. What does your husband being home do for your family? Oh, it means that we can have family time as a mom and a dad and our kids. Okay, so what I'm hearing you say is the real reason you need the money is because you need time together as a family because right now you don't have it. They need to pay the electric bill, but the overall goal is to have time with the family, right? Because if they get to work and they're doing this business and it gets hard because this business is simple, but it does take work, right? And they don't feel like doing it, you have a lot of things. Hey, remember when you said that you really needed to have this family time because of X, Y, and Z? They're going to show up. But if they only need it for the electric bill, they've been making it work for months, maybe even years. They've always found a way to find the money. So they might just go right back to that because that's familiar and that's known. So it seems easier and simpler. But if we can help them be connected to the deeper why that they need the money and what it's going to do for their family, then they're kind of more bought in and you can help them get their goals and earn their money, right? So you're really leading them to those solutions instead of telling them, because we all know we love people to tell us what to do. We love when people tell us how to fix things, right? I don't. I love for people to share with me something that could work and give me options, right? So, in this conversational selling, after you have worked on that and you've talked about some of the solutions, um, then you're going to need to be setting them up for success. What does that even look like? Identifying some next steps that they need to be taking to achieve their goals, whether or not they get signed up with Plexus, right? So, how would you imagine, or what would you picture your life on a daily basis to look like as you get started on this wellness journey? What would you like it to look like? Then you kind of get an idea of what it is they want and how they want it to look. And you can help kind of plug the holes or poke holes in their ideas because sometimes they think, I've been sick for 6 years, but in 30 days, I'm going to be all well. Right? And it's like, share with me. I love this. I would love to do that. How is that going to work for you to undo 6 months, 6 years, whatever it is that you've been struggling with something in 30 days, right? But I think the best way to be able to help people in this conversational selling and helping them be able to for helping you be able to help others see that we have a solution to help them is showcasing the value in those conversations, hearing their situation, knowing what they're really looking to solve and how it's going to impact their life, sharing some ideas, showcasing, how it's going to help them, right? What are the things that are going to change their life that we have to offer them? We want to make sure we're offering things that are going to help them, not just because we want to get a sale. If they currently only have the bandwidth to maybe start getting better sleep and they want to get started with something, we want to be working with whatever that thing is. We have lots of different options for sleep, giving them two different choices, showcasing, well, you could take this bundle and here's what it would do for you with your sleep, or we could try this bundle. Here's the things that it would do. Which one sounds best for you? When do you want to get started? Right? Because remember, we're talking about getting our end goal by the end of December, right? How many of you get cost objections all the time? Okay. So, couple of different things when dealing with cost objections is in the beginning, if you can showcase the value and share with them in the conversation of what our products do, what sets us apart from other supplements? What makes us different? How do they know that what we're telling them is actually going to be true? We have a patented ingredient, two actually, right? We have studies that show, we have not just studies, but we have stories upon stories upon stories of people who have had similar situations as the people that you're talking to that you can showcase. Hey, this is what my friend was in these very same shoes. I'd love for you to read her story. Or let's take a look at this, right? Because if we can showcase what we have to offer and how it's going to make their life better, the cost objection could go down. And most importantly, though, cost objections are usually not about the money. Usually it's their belief that they don't believe it's going to work for them because nothing has. And they're afraid of spending money on something again that isn't going to work. That's really what it is. It's not that the cost is necessarily a lot, it's that the risk for them to take spending the money again when they've tried and failed so many times. And so if you can ask the questions again when they talk about the expense of, hey, share with me what about the expense? And just be quiet for a second and see what it is that they have to say. And then you can even make the suggestion of, I totally hear you. I was like that too. I was so afraid to taking these because I tried everything and nothing worked. Or if it isn't you, you probably know someone who was in the same shoes and you can share their story because we want to be honest and we want to be authentic and we don't want to present ourselves as being something that we aren't. So if you don't have an actual story that you can relate to, whose story can you use to showcase? People have been in your very exact shoes and I get it, right? We don't want to spend and we don't want to waste our money and I don't want to waste that money either. However, what if you start taking this and it does exactly what you're looking for? Is there a price that you wouldn't pay to achieve X goal to get the outcome that you're looking for, is there a price that you would put on that? Right? Getting to those kind of things. But I think that is one of the biggest things is they really are afraid they're going to fail because nothing's worked. They're at their wits' end. It's not just the cost of what we have, it's the cost of losing the money again and wasting it. So, how can we help them see and believe in themselves and believe in you that you're going to help and support them in order to get that closed? Here's the deal: utilize your upline, get into a three-way message, get into a three-way call. Hey, I'd love to jump on a call, right, with somebody else who also has an expert opinion about this objection that you have. Can we jump on a call and quickly talk through that, right? Or somebody else on your team. And then sometimes, you guys, you kind of got to know when the sale is just not going to go. Every prospect isn't going to turn into a yes. And we don't want to waste a whole lot of time on prospective buyers and be in a scarcity mindset. Because if we're in a scarcity mindset and we just want to take any and everyone, and we're so worried about the sell, and we're so worried because we have these goals, the people on the other end of the screen or the phone or the text, they're going to feel that scarcity. Where if you can move forward in abundance, we're going to get to some visualization techniques for you to utilize on a daily basis, where you can just know that, hey, you know what? Maybe this isn't for you. I work with people who are really looking to change their life, and I'm so dang excited. I know I can help you, but if you're not ready right now, I get it. I get it. I'll be here, right? For these people that you are knowing that you're not going to waste any more time, because you got to move on to the next person. Because if you have to drag somebody into a sale, guess what? You're going to be dragging them for a long, long time. So it takes discernment. You got to know in those conversations as you're having them, oh, I feel like this is going to take too long. I feel like I'm dragging, or they just need a little push and then they're going to say yes, right? You've got to have that discernment, which means that conversation needs to happen. Like Eric Worre says, if conversations aren't happening, people are not getting solutions. People are not getting solutions. So you need to build that rapport with them, getting to know them, asking questions, offer relatability, your story, your transformations, and then help them self-discover the solutions that we have and then make those recommendations as part of that, right? And then talk about next steps. When you're getting somebody started, what are they doing while they wait for their products? Their products. They're so dang excited. Motivation happens with action. It does not come the other way around. Everybody's like, I wish I was just motivated to get started. You have to actually get started, and then the motivation comes. Think about when you have to clean your house and you don't really want to do it. As soon as you get started cleaning, all of a sudden you don't have enough time in the day to do all the things that you want to clean. Am I right or am I right? Every single time. I gotta clean my house, but I don't want it. And then it's like, I got it, I can do this and I could do this. And it's like, wait, I don't have enough time to do all the things that I want to do. So when people make a purchase and they say yes to you and they're ready to get going, they're in action. What are they doing while they wait for their product? I love to be able to offer them solutions of, hey, I know you're working on X. What would you like to do while we're waiting for your product, right? Would you like to start increasing your water? Do you want to track your steps or do 15 minutes of movement every day? Would you like to practice on your circadian rhythm, getting some morning sun every single morning before 10 a.m. or within 30 minutes of waking and evening sun right before you go to sleep? Or would you like to try going to bed at the same time and getting up at the same time? What are some things that you want to start implementing while we wait for your products to come? So we have habit stacks. Habit stackings, we get one thing that they can start doing while they're waiting for their products, and then they introduce the products. And then maybe after a week or two of doing that one habit, maybe we can introduce a second habit, or maybe they need 4 weeks. But how can we keep them in action to keep them motivated going forward? And that is the same way after they're here for a month. How can we keep them motivated to do the next month? It can't be the same old thing they did the first month, because that is going to get boring and mundane and seem like it's super hard. So, can we change it up and do something different on that second month, right? Does anybody have any questions so far? So every day before you get to work, it would be a really good idea if you could just take a few minutes to visualize yourself, right? Making the perfect execution. Visualize yourself talking to someone flawlessly, being able to ask those open-ended questions, hearing them share what they're struggling with, what their pain points are, right? How is it that you're going to respond to them? How are you going to be able to build some rapport by showing relatability and then help them self-discover that we have what they need with some recommendations? Visualize yourself doing that. Engage your senses. How are you feeling? How are they feeling? What does it feel like in the air? What are you smelling? What are you hearing? Right? And what is the outcome? Visualize that every single day and make it a mental practice. Rehearse it before you have an important conversation, and then reflect on the progress every evening. I promise that those things, it may not change immediately, but with practice and time, you're just going to show up with more excitement, more intention, and more enthusiasm and more attunement for really trying to help the people that need you. It takes the focus off of what you need and it puts it right back on other people. And the byproduct of that is you're going to hit every single one of your goals. You're going to hit and get to that visualization in the end of the year. You're going to get there, right? But we have to make this a habit and we have to practice it every single day because what I know about business, about getting better at anything, is that it's consistency over time yields the greatest results. And like I said, when I was there, successful business owners, what makes somebody successful is that, and people who aren't, is successful business owners show up every single day and do the work, whether they feel like it or not. Now, they don't get up and begrudgingly go and try to find people to try their products and find solutions. They get up and they get themselves in a mindset and space to want to show up. Whatever that looks like, doing a visualization, listening to a podcast, listening to your favorite music, right? How can you help yourself get into this excitement about doing this business? Maybe it's looking at, I had you write out what it looked like, right? At the end, what you felt like at the end of the year, how that was going to be. Maybe it's reading that and being like, oh, yes, I want to be this. So I'm going to show up today and I'm going to do my income producing activities that I already have mapped out because I'm excited about December. And I know that today matters because every day matters because it's the compound effect of day to day and day to day. If I went to a grocery store that was only open when they felt like being open, I would stop going to the grocery store because every time I went there, I wouldn't be able to get my stuff because maybe they didn't feel like it. Maybe I showed up on the day they didn't feel like showing up for work. Don't be that person. Show up for yourself because people need you. People need you. Measure your energy from 1 to 5. If you're below a 3.5, do what you need to raise that energy. Yes, I would say 100% because while consistency is important, energy that you show up with might even be more important. If you show up with energy, your energy is contagious. And I know sometimes it gets really mundane and monotonous of like, I'm always the one bringing the energy. Guess what? You're a business owner. That's the hat you get to wear. Be excited because you're building something great. And then as you find leaders, you can also tap into them and assign them days to bring the energy where they can disseminate it against the team. But that should be something you should be proud of, being able to bring the energy because you know that you're creating space for women to lead the most beautiful, authentic lives that they ever thought possible. And you're creating that for yourself. So as you're bringing in new ambassadors, how can you help them be excited to share, be motivated? It's going to be connecting them to where they want to be in 6 months. How much money do they want to make? What are they going to spend the money for? What are they going to use it for? And then reverse engineering how to make that happen. And if you need help, talk with your upline. If your upline doesn't know, I can jump on a call and help you guys with that. Robin can jump on a call and help you guys with that. But most importantly, right out of the gate, they need to be sharing their excitement. And most importantly, what is working right now that I've seen teams who are having massive success with their new ambassadors coming on board and those ambassadors bringing two or three friends, they're doing launch parties. They're getting signed up. They're saying, hey, we're going to throw a Zoom party, or hey, we're going to meet at the coffee shop. If it's local people, I want you to bring your two or three friends who you know would benefit from this, who you want to share with. I'm going to be here and we're going to get on a call and it's going to be fun. We're going to showcase how much fun this can be and where we're kind of going by December and see if they want in right out of the gate. That way, the new ambassador isn't stuck by themselves trying to talk to their friends, and you're not doing the work, but you're both showing up together. So you're teaching them how to do a launch party with support. You're sharing maybe one thing in that launch party about whatever problem they have shared that their people could benefit from. And then their prospect or their person, the friend who just signed up, your new VIP that's going to be an ambassador once they get their first action and somebody signed up, they're going to share their excitement and where they're going. And it could just be like, I don't even know where I'm going by December because I'm not sure this is going to work, but I am really betting that I can make it work. And I want you to do this with me. What do you say when they say they want results before they tell anyone about it? I totally get it. I totally was you. And imagine, I mean, I would share, I totally get it. Share with me what really, like, what is going to be the benefit of you waiting to get results before you share with your friends? Wouldn't it be, what would be the benefits of waiting? And hear what they have to say. And then somehow be able to turn it back around and say, imagine if you got started with your friend, and studies show that you are 85% more likely to get the results you're looking for in the time frame and be consistently working on this a year later if you start with a friend and you don't get started alone. The studies don't lie. It's going to be more fun for you. It's going to be relatable. If you wait until you get results and share with your friend, you're now 2, 3, 4 steps ahead where you could just be doing this thing together. And I can be your 2 steps ahead, or my group that I'm going to put you in can be 2 steps ahead. But what's the benefit of waiting? Other than they're going to say, well, I just want to make sure that I'm not wasting my money. Right? Have you heard that one before? Has anybody on this call had a good comeback for that has worked before I share something? Nobody?
Well, I could just relate and say, I felt exactly like you, and I planned on getting my money back after 60 days, and here I am 10 years later. So all the testimonies that are on our team should tell you the products work and they're valid, just something like that, that the testimonies speak volumes for
Yeah,
going
they
in.
do. And I think it's going to go back to how well do you know this person that you're talking to? How much time did you spend in those conversations so that you can know when to nudge them a little bit to invite their friend before you push them away? Right. And if they are looking to make money because you're looking for business builders, they got to get sharing right out of the gate. Because here's what I also know. People want to jump on the journey with you and do it with you. People want to see what you're doing. They don't want to wait until you have results. They want to see you during the beginning. They want to see the progress that you're making on the day by day. That's really where it is. And if you have somebody who's just absolutely, I want to get results, awesome. Let's take some video when you get your when you get your supplements in the mail and your package comes, let's jump on a call. We're going to do an unboxing. We're going to videotape it so that when you are ready, you have some content. And if people are waiting for their stuff to come and they're ready to get started in sharing, they can do a something's coming. I'm super excited, leading up and building excitement for what's about to drop as soon as they get their supplements, right? Creating that also is going to keep them in action as an ambassador, right? They are posting about something's coming, they're starting something new, they've partnered with the company, whatever that is. They could start dropping the blessings that they are looking forward to achieving. And hey, who wants to do this with me? Anybody want it, right? And just getting that engagement and getting people excited for what's about to come for your new ambassadors that are ready to build a business. If you have older ambassadors, um, good suggestions, Connie. Did I miss? I'm not seeing Connie's. Oh, Connie. I don't see it in the chat. No.
Connie's a new brand ambassador. These are good
Oh,
suggestions
okay.
for her.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, they're good for everybody, but
I just
Got it,
signed
got
up
it, got
on
it.
Sunday, so I'm taking it all in. I'm making a whole bunch of notes and I already have some really good ideas and stuff like that.
Yay. Well, we're happy you're here, Connie. Yay, yay, yay. So I would also say for your ambassadors that maybe right now they are kind of on the fence. They want to work, but they don't want to work. They're not really sure where they're going. One way that you can motivate them is go back and ask the same question. Where do you want to be in this business by December? How much money? I know you're going to stick at me saying this, but it really works for everyone. Where you're vision casting, you're forecasting, you're getting them to draw a line in the sand and put a deadline. We don't hit our goals because we don't have deadlines. They're not big enough. We don't have deadlines, so we don't have an action plan and we don't know what to do to show up on the daily. But more importantly is to have them write their story down. Where were they before they started Plexus as an ambassador? What are the blessings they have achieved so far since becoming an ambassador? And what blessings are they looking to get out of if they continue to show up as an ambassador? Anytime you can have somebody write their story down and or have an opportunity to share it, maybe have them just tell you on a call, right? What excited you most about doing this Plexus business? What were you most excited about? And where are you now? What wakes you up and excited to work on this business? And if they got nothing, it goes back to where do you want to be by December? Is there any excitement of getting that? And then how do we know what to even do? It's going to go back to how to be consistent. And in order to be consistent, you got to have a plan. Nobody goes to work without a plan. You don't show up to work and go, I don't know what to do. I got to do all these things. Where do I start? I don't know what to do. You have a checklist in your brain. You've been doing it long enough, or it's all written out. But then we have this business that we're building and it's our side hustle, and we don't treat it like a business. We don't have a daily action step plan. We don't know what time we're working and we don't know what tasks we're doing by the 5, 10, 15 minute. If you don't have that structure, that is going to be paramount to you having success and hitting your goal in December. I want you to walk away from this to take 7 days, map out 7 days. What time of day are you going to work? And what are you doing in the first 5 minutes? Maybe it's the first 10 minutes. If you have a 30-minute block, maybe you have a 5 minutes, a 10 minutes, another 10 minutes, and another 5 minutes. What are you doing during that time? And then set your timer and get to work. But most importantly, showing up with action. How can you make it fun? It's fun in my mind, just being able to share the blessings that Plexus can have for someone. Being excited, being able to talk to people about themselves and hear their stories and hear their pain points and hear their struggles, and then being able to showcase how you can help them make their life even better or to solve a certain problem. But what is it for you? What is that excitement? What is it for your ambassadors? What can excite them to getting out of bed? And then taking that action steps. Because here's what I know. 80% of your time needs to be spent on building your own business. Why do we have the Icon Club? Because it teaches you to do the action steps that you're asking your downline to do. Are you bringing in new people? Are you helping those new people get started and build a business as well? Whatever you're doing should be duplicated by your downline. And if it's something that they can't do, I might question if it's something I should be doing. because duplication happens just like our kids. They don't do as we say, they do as we do. They do as we do. So what are you doing that's duplicatable, that people can pick up on, that can have so much energy, that's going to be fun because this job is fun. Yes, it's really fun. Okay, any other questions?
I made a comment in there that I do like the new sponsors guide in our app for brand new people. I think it's just a great starting point. So I like that.
Yeah, the app has a lot of really great stuff for brand new people getting started, walking them through next steps and what to do. So if you aren't familiar with the app, go in and become familiar so that you can kind of know what you're directing your people to. When it's not fun, it's because the person is not an activity. I would agree. Or you're not remembering why you're here and you haven't made life, you are not doing enough in your own life that's bringing you joy. This now becomes a have to instead of a get to. So it's going to go back to, by the way, has anybody in this group implemented trying to do something fun for yourself since I was there last week? Anybody? No one?
I'm kind of having fun doing my fitness group.
Okay.
So I am.
And how has that changed your overall life perspective?
My energy's been better.
It really does change your energy.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone back and talked to the last 4 VIPs that I got started,
Uh-huh.
and just went through, like, how much water are you getting in? What's your movement like? What kinds of foods do you feel you're reaching for? And kind of going through that whole scenario, and then touching, like you said, just think about where you're going to be at Christmas time. You know, Close your eyes, think about that, get the feel. What do you want to weigh? Do you want to be off your omeprazole? And getting them, touching their feels. You got to get to their feels, I think, for them to really think, yeah, yeah, I can do this. I'm going to do this time, because 3 of these out of the 4 have done plexus before.
Okay.
So that tells me that for whatever reason, and I'll take ownership of my part, that maybe I wasn't there for them enough.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I would say too, when you're bringing people in, um, and you're talking to people, you better be taking notes somewhere. All the conversations that you have with each person, are you taking notes so that when you have those conversations, you can say, until you really get to know them. But when you're just getting to know people, if you don't keep notes for those conversations in text and Facebook Messenger and Instagram, wherever that is, it's really hard to remember. And you think you're going to remember, but you can't. I have copious notes for people that I talk to, and then pretty soon I don't even need them because I know them well enough. And they're like, "How do you know all my kids' names?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I took a bunch of notes." And then I learned, and then I talked to you, and now I know. But then I might forget, but I still have them written down. So when I need to follow back, and that's not cheating. It's that you have a bunch of people that you're helping. You can't remember everything about everyone without keeping notes. I mean, doctors, nurses, they have charting for the very reason they know you because they treat you, but they have notes to remind them of the important things that you talked about. Just like you as an ambassador have those notes, right? So are you keeping track of those things? And when they get started, they need to list everything they're suffering from, everything that they have been, what are all their pain points? Because I guarantee you, if you do not, at the end of 30 days, they're going to tell you nothing changed because they were not aware of all the pain points when they started. And the changes are so small in those first 30 days They are forgetful. They are forgetful. So when they come and say nothing's changed, you can say, share with me how your sleep has been. I know at the beginning, just let them talk. And then you can say, no, in the beginning, you were waking up several times a night. Sounds like that hasn't been going on. Share with me what that has done for your energy. You know what I mean? How has your snacking been? Share what they have to say. Let them, like, I think the biggest thing we do is we ask a question and then we keep talking because silence is like, oh, we don't want it to be silence, but they're going to have to think for a second before they answer. But have them list the things that they're currently struggling with when they get started. Maybe it's before they even say yes, they list the things that they're struggling with. And then it's what's their number one pain point? What's the number one thing they want to fix by December? Have them order it. What are out of however many there are, put them in order of what's most important.
Something I just started doing because I'm old, so I always use paper for follow up. I put it in my calendar and a week later follow up. Well, I find I'm on the road a lot of times contacting people when I drive. I have an hour and a half to the closest Target. So I've been keeping things on where their contact information on my phone in the notes.
Oh, very smart.
And it's all there. And I love that. Right now it's working. But I've changed it a lot of different ways. But the paper is just never with me all the time.
Right, right.
So that's what I found is working right now.
Okay, I love that. Another thing that works for reigniting ambassadors or keeping them motivated is you sharing where you see them a month from now. Where do you see them 3 months from now? Where do you see them 6 months from now? And then having them also write where they see themselves at those increments, right? Where you're casting belief, you're building belief and you're casting vision because you know how it is. Somebody from the outside looking in can always see the entire picture. Um, and the people who are in the troughs, they're in the muck, they're in the thick of it, they can't see past this. They just are doing the best they can, and all they know is what's in front of them, and they forgot about all the peripheral things. Last thing I'm going to say, when's the last time you done a social media audit? How often are you sharing about the business opportunity? Not in the sense of slinging graphics, not in the sense of only how much money you can make without any context behind it, without sharing part of your journey, part of your story, right? Are we sharing what really you have to offer someone in the sense of where were you before Plexus? How has your life been blessed? Sharing about one blessing at a time of how your life has changed because of you partnered with this company. Sharing, like casting the vision, like really sharing the story in such a way that it's going to have other people see themselves in your story and want to make a change. Do a social media audit, see how often you're talking about it, your stories and your feed. And then you can make a change to recognize you probably need to share more because what you talk about grows. And if you're having a hard time converting your customers into ambassadors, it's probably because we recruited customers who needed health solutions and we weren't focused on finding business builders. You need customers, you do, but we also need business builders because growth is organizational growth. Not just the number of people you bring in, but the number of people that come in and also bring people. You talked about the business today. Awesome. Yeah, it's so easy to talk about the business when you can look at the business as because this Plexus business, this is what I noticed today in my life, this biggest blessing. And your tiniest blessing that you think is so small and minuscule is something, there's somebody out there wishing they had that teeny tiny blessing. So no matter how small, share it in a story. I have some, let me see if I have them really quickly, some posting hooks that I can drop in the chat. I thought I had them in this folder, but they're not there. That you can use to kind of set the stage for drawing the reader in and setting yourself up for sharing your parts of your journey. Well, I don't have it. Dang it. I do have one last thing. You guys can take a screenshot if I share this picture. I need to redo it. I never put it on my calendar to give myself time to redo it. I live by my calendar. So then every time I come to do this, I'm like, oh, I still haven't updated this. I need an assistant. Okay. So you can use this kind of an idea of helping your new people get started. Here's where you are today, and then where is your success? What does that look like to you? I want to change this because I don't like the best version of you, because right now you're the best version of you. You're the best version of you there ever was, and you're going to work on yourself to get better, right? But what's going to help you stay on your path? Putting into place things that you know are going to help you reach your goals, but most importantly is what's going to knock you off your path. If we are not aware of the things that are going to knock us off our path, it's really easy to get knocked off. Meaning, if I don't know that I get sucked into social media and I go to find 10 new friends and I don't set a timer for 2 minutes, I don't set a timer for 10, and then I don't send a bunch of 2 minute timers to give myself 2 minutes to find a new friend that really their value, like it just jumps out of the page, and I'm like, I love what she said. I want to follow her today and see if we can have a connection. I might spend an hour looking for one person because I get sucked into all the things that ooh, this is interesting, and ooh, this is interesting. And it just leads me down a rabbit hole. And then I've lost all my work time and I've done nothing but scroll social media. That's what I'm talking about. What are things that are going to knock you off your path so that you can be aware of what it is so that you can stay on the path, and helping your new people get started with just these simple things. What's going to help you? What's going to knock you off? Okay, does anybody have any other questions for me? I'm just searching my computer really fast for these posting hooks.
You can get them to me later too, and I can share them in our team chat, or
Okay.
if you can't find them.
I just found them. You guys want to just take a screenshot?
Yeah, we can do that.
So it'll be 3 screenshots. Have you ever thought you had life all planned out, but then something unexpectedly threw you off your path? And then you can share a short little clip, right? Or imagine that you're crushing a corporate career when suddenly you need more flexibility to care for your family member. That's where I found myself 1 year ago, right? Or my favorite one is this one right here. Nope, it's not on here. It's about life throwing you a curveball. But the idea for these is to draw the reader in and have them see themselves in your story, having them see how their life would change if X was resolved, because you're going to show them in your story, right? And then this is like open-ended questions, not yes or no questions. This is not a posting hooks. It's just other notes that I had in here. When you're talking to people and you send something, um, open-ended question. Let me know what you think. I'd love to know your thoughts on this. When would be a good time? Give them 2 times that you could follow up to meet, to get on a call, right? If I don't hear from you by this date, I'll follow up by this date. So you kind of set some expectations. Always want to give those 2 options. Would you like to try the sweet tea or the original pink drink? Would Wednesday at 3 p.m. or Tuesday at 2 work better for you? People love to make options. Love it, love it, love it. When sending a video, make it a scavenger hunt. Ask them to be looking for X. kind of tease kind of what they're looking for, part of the information. Because if you just send a video and say, let me know what you think, they are not intentionally watching it. They're watching it while they're making dinner, they're watching it while they're getting their kids ready for bed, and they're not paying attention. And if they know what to be listening for, they can be listening for that while they're making dinner and they're going to hear it. They can be listening for that while they're putting their kids to bed and they're going to hear it. But if it's just simply a video, then what kind of conversation do you have afterwards? Here you set the expectation, they're looking for something, and then you have an automatic conversation starter for when you get back together. I love this for like Monday night calls. I can't wait to hear what you think about this and this. Or be sure to listen into this and let me know what you think about this. Okay, you guys, icon is those extra points are ending in the next little bit. If you're not going to hit it and you're not close, I don't want you to let up off the gas because what you're doing now is setting you up for success for the following weeks, months. Remember that 2025 December goal that we just visualized, where you want to be? Don't let up on the gas just because the goal isn't going to get hit. You just keep going because the more you can keep going, the sooner you're going to hit that goal, even if it isn't at the exact date. So many things coming. Leaders Retreat, lots of ways. I would love for you, as you're sharing about Leaders Retreat, to really focus on helping people earn money. How much money do they need by December? They can earn that money and the trip. That way, they don't just earn the trip and you never see them again. That way, they earn the trip and they're making money, and you have lifelong customers, lifelong ambassadors who are here for the long haul because you showed them how this is a business and they got the bonus, which is the trip.
Awesome.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. This was great. We'll keep you posted how it goes.
Yeah, keep me posted. Let me know when y'all are hitting icon or getting close, or if you need jumping on calls, reverse engineering, any of those things, I'm here for it. Okay. You guys got this.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye,
Have a
thank
good
you.
night, ladies. All
you.
right. Bye.